Hey, good afternoon, everybody. I live in the desert, and today it is raining in the desert, which is not a common occurrence. So I'm very excited, and I decided to record outside in the rain. I wanted to talk about what I read in the SEL for Students Ethical Decision Making and Social Responsibility article that we were provided. The three sections were what is it? So, what skills are useful for practicing ethical decision making and social responsibility? And the first one that I wanted to highlight and talk about was demonstrating curiosity and open mindedness. I think it's really crucial is people that we maintain an attitude of non-judgment towards others, that we recognize that other people come in our lives having different lived experiences, having different belief systems or perspectives on life, and it doesn't make them wrong and it doesn't make us right, or vice versa. And just having that curiosity of questioning how other people do things rather than putting yourself in a place of judgment because maybe it's different than what you would normally expect. And I've found as an educator, I've really had to do this a lot as it pertains to dealing with some parents. Coming towards families with a questioning attitude rather than an I've already made a decision about what's wrong here. Um, Instead, having the can you enlighten me as to what's going on in your situation so I can offer support. Um, it's a much more powerful way to go about trying to build relationships with people. And then identifying solutions for personal and social problems is another skill that I wanted to identify that I think it's a lot easier sometimes to one and not notice that there's a problem, or if you notice that there's a problem, kind of shifting the responsibility. It's somebody else's job to take care of it rather than accepting the responsibility that I can be a problem solver and I can bring a solution to this. I think it's a powerful skill to have that mindset, that problem solver mindset. So then going on into the next section of the reading was why is it important? So the first thing I wanted to highlight is why is it important in schools is because in schools, teachers have huge influence over the messages that our students are receiving. And so it's really important that we're being purposeful in the messages that we're sending, that we're both explicit and implicit, because they're watching the way that we talk, how we talk, the words that we're using, the tone that we have, how we respond to certain students, situations, and families. They're learning from us, and it's important to make that a purposeful part of their learning. Um, so another part that ties into the skills, I had mentioned that one of the skills is being able to be a problem solver. So it's important to be able to recognize problems, to recognize injustice, to recognize where you have the ability to bring solution. And I think as educators, we need to be equipping and encouraging our students to be able to critically think about, areas where they see something is wrong and how can they step up to make it better. Um, and then also the reason it's important is because these students aren't just going to be kids forever. They're growing up to take over the world. They're going to be our next generation, and we want to have a generation that's founded with good moral character and has a moral identity, so that the future of our society is one that we want to see. And then lastly, two relevant practices in the classroom that help support being responsible and making responsible decisions and using those SEL skills is to model and name skills. So specifically in first grade, I do a lot of modeling and walking students through conflict resolution, because in first grade they have a lot of little spats that they deal with, and you have to kind of walk them through. And what I do is I model an iMessage and I model an apology or a resolution. And so I walk the students through the process of, okay, explain to this person how it made you feel when they acted this way. I felt hurt when you took my pencil. I felt angry when you told everybody not to play with me, blah, 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 whatever the situation is. You know, they all have a bunch of them. And then the offending person, okay, you hear your friends say that they were hurt. You hear your friends say they were disappointed, they were lonely, they felt left out. Now, how are you going to offer an apology where you take responsibility for the actions that cause those hurt feelings, those angry emotions to stir up? What are you going to do different from here forward? So we do a lot of modeling and naming skills that we're practicing. And then another thing I love to do is using our ELA and literature to connect to our SEL skills. And so as we're reading, I have them practice identifying conflict in a story, empathizing with other characters, and using their critical thinking skills. How would you solve this problem? If you were in this character situation, what would you do? And giving them the opportunity to discuss and think through those processes. So that's all I have to share for today. I hope you guys are all having a great week, and I look forward to hearing your discussions as well.